Good morning, students. It's me Tanushri Verma, and today I will teach you first chapter of midwifery based on INC syllabus. So before we start this session, I want to tell you why midwifery is important for us and why we study midwifery. So this course is designed to help students acquire knowledge and gain skill to meet the needs of women during pregnancy, labor, puerperium and care for newborn. So some general objective of midwifery are at the end of this course, the students shall be able to describe the health need of women in pregnancy, labor and puerperium, identify deviations from normal pregnancy, labor and puerperium and take appropriate action. Demonstrate skills in providing antepartum, intrapartum and postpartum care to the mother as well as care to the newborn as per the SBA guideline of Government of India. So today you will learn about introduction of midwifery, definition of midwifery and obstetrical nursing, scope of midwifery, basic competencies of a midwife, history of midwifery, trends of midwifery services in India and vital statistics related to maternal health in India. So I start this session with the introduction. Pregnancy and childbirth are normal process in the life of a woman, and in most of cases of these process birth of healthy babies occurs. But in approximately 10 to 15% cases, complications may arise which may be life threatening for mother or her fetus or for both. Over the last 2 decades, health policy makers both in India and abroad have been giving the highest priority to issues of women's health and reproduction. Some of these complications may cause maternal mortality or fetal death. For detecting these complications at early stage and providing appropriate treatment timely, presence of skilled attendants is crucial so that maternal mortality and perinatal deaths can be prevented effectively. So there can be no doubt that knowledge of the anatomy and physiology of the reproductive organs and of the development of the fetus from conception to birth is required by everyone who participates in maternity care. The term midwife was derived from two words mid plus wife. Mid means with and wife means woman. So now we can say that a woman who assists a woman during pregnancy and childbirth is known as midwife. A midwife either can be a man or a woman, but usually a woman. In 1992, WHO defined a midwife as a person who has been regularly admitted to a midwifery educational program, duly recognized in the country in which located, has successfully completed the prescribed course or studies in midwifery, has acquired the requisites qualifications to be registered and legally licensed to practice midwifery. Now, definition of midwifery and obstetrical nursing. According to American College of Nurse and Midwives, midwifery is still the term used to dedicate the practice of a nurse who is responsible for management of childbearing women and neonates within a healthcare system that provides for collaborative management and referral. In other words, we can say that midwifery is an art of science of providing preventive, promotive, diagnostic and therapeutic health care during pregnancy, labor process and puerperium and also care to the newborn. Obstetrics. It is currently defined as the branch of medicine that deals with the phenomenon and management of pregnancy, labor and the postpartum in low and high risk circumstances. Today, the focus of maternity practice has expanded to including the childbearing family as a whole as well as women. All individuals have the right to be born healthy, and to ensure this, every pregnant woman and fetus has the right to achieve quality health care. Scope of midwifery can be classified into following three areas: in clinical area, in education area, in research area. In clinical area, to ensure availability of best possible care so that we could decrease the mortality and morbidity rate of women. After confirmation of pregnancy during antenatal period, registration of the woman is done and advise her for at least 4 antenatal checkups. If any abnormality is detected, then needful action are taken immediately without any delay. During whole period of pregnancy, ensure that qualitative care should be provided to the woman as well as after delivery. Apart from this, she provides family planning services and diagnostic and therapeutic services for infertility also. In educational area, preconceptional counseling. In this, the nurse should provide education to the woman regarding preconceptional care and preparing for parenthood. In research area, a midwife also participates in various health related research works. These research works are carried out to discover better techniques and methods for preventing, controlling, diagnosing and treating maternal and neonatal illnesses, more effectively. Basic competencies of midwife. Meaning of competency is having the ability or skill that is needed for something. For providing effective care to a woman from conception to puerperium, a midwife should have sufficient knowledge regarding following various health determinants, principles of community-based primary care, principles of epidemiology, causes of maternal or neonate morbidity and mortality, principles and methods of health education, sexual development and development of sex activities, techniques of health assessment, changes occurring in a woman during pregnancy, minor elements of pregnancy and their management, pregnancy associated complications, their diagnosis and management, normal and abnormal labor, birth injury and their management, psychological changes during labor and postnatal period, high risk pregnancy and management, neonatal complications and management, various obstetric operations such as venous delivery, forceps delivery, episiotomy, cesarean section, etc. Various family planning methods, their advantage and disadvantages. Knowledge about various types of drugs used in midwifery, infertility and its causes and treatment, ethical and legal aspects of midwifery. History of midwifery in India before independence. In ancient India, the midwifery practice was totally dependent on the midwives of native villages. They used to help the woman during childbirth and also were consulted for any birth related condition of the mother. In normal condition, that is completely their job without any problem with the birth of a live child. But in case of any abnormal condition which was raised suddenly, it was difficult for the dice to manage because of insufficient knowledge and lack of instruments. In these conditions, risk for maternal and infant mortality and morbidity was increased. That's why maternal mortality and infant mortality in that period were high. So I tell you how it is started in India. In 1877, Miss Havlet, an English missionary of the Janana Missionary Society, started the first training school for midwives. In 1899, the Janana Bible and Medical Mission started the training of nurses. In 1926, the Madras Registration of Nurses and Midwives Act as passes the promote the role of a registered midwife during childbirth. In 1936, midwifery training was started as a separate course in India, and girls at the middle school level, 8th standard, were selected for this training. Midwifery in independent India. In 1946, the Bohri Committee recommended the need for qualified midwives, health visitors, and training of midwives. In 1955, the Seti Committee recommended the training of auxiliary nurse midwives (ANMs) in health center for maternal and child health services, if there are adequate health visitors to supervise them. In 1959, BISF, a technical consultant, supported the training of ANM and GNM. In 1947, the Indian Nursing Council (INC) combined the nursing and midwifery courses into a single course of 3.5 years duration, with the entry qualification was after 10th class. In 1975, the Qatar Singh Committee recommended shortening of the 2 years course to 1.5 years for ANM, and the entire qualification was after class 10th. These ANMs were designed as female health workers who were trained in midwifery and child health care services. Now, trends of maternity services in India. WHO offers definition of maternity care. The objective of maternity care is to ensure that everyone expectant and nursing mother maintain good health, learns the art of child care, and has a normal delivery and bear healthy children. Number 1. Changes in social structure and variations in family lifestyle. These changes have altered health care priorities for maternal and child health nurses. They have adopted to these changes due to increased focus on patient advocacy and health education. Number 2. Cost containment. It refers to strategies and practices implemented to control and reduce expenses without negatively impacting the overall quality or functionality of services or products. Now, expanded rules for nurses. The responsibilities of nurses and midwives also include assessment and professional judgment, and playing expanded roles of advanced midwifery practitioner. Next, Family centered care, maternity care. Since pregnancy and childbirth involve the entire family, nurses include family members by consulting with them about a care plan and educating them to regulate maternal and child care. The family centered maternity care concept maintains a natural childbirth environment and allow the family members to be there and experience the childbirth process. Next, access to health care. This include having health insurance, high income level, and a primary care provider or other sources of ongoing health care. Clinical prevention services are used as indicators of access to quality health care services. The objectives to measure progress in the areas are to increase the proportion of person with health insurance, to increase the proportion of person with a specific source of ongoing care, to increase the proportion of pregnant women who being prenatal care in the first trimester. Now, shortening hospital stays. Women with onset of preterm labor return home on medication with continued monitoring after an initial treatment in the hospital. At the current time, mother and infant stays in hospital for 2 days or less after an uncomplicated birth. Women who stays less in the hospital need an initiative health teaching and continuous follow-up. Next, increased use of alternative treatment modalities. The use of alternative therapies such as acupuncture and therapeutic touch is increasing along with or in place of traditional healthcare practices. Thus, it is compulsory for the nurses and midwives to have knowledge about complementary and alternative therapies. Increased use of technology. Maternal and child health nurses should be aware of all the innovative technologies like assisted reproduction, obtaining information on the internet, and monitoring fetal heart rate by Doppler ultrasonography for assessment and treatment during pregnancy, labor, and childbirth. Also, the nurses must be able to explain the use and advantages of the technology. Next, technological advances. With the revolution of technology, the reliance on computers has increased, and the nurses also need to become skilled in using the modern technology. This advancement has reduces the hand-on care of the patient and thus the quality nursing care. For example, fetoscope has been replaced by electronic fetal monitors. Increased cost of high-tech care or birth. With the introduction of high technology, the cost of their care has also increased. For example, ultrasound fetal monitor procedures are very expensive. Thus, obstetric care is slowly turning into a business for the healthcare providers. Next, changing pattern of childbirth. Most of the working women are 30 to 40 years of age. With the practice of early marriage, the pregnancy complications like preterm delivery, low birth weight baby, etc. are more in older and younger mothers. Next is increased perinatal risk factors. Perinatal risk factors include chronic maternal illness, certain maternal infections, toxic exposures, and nutritional deficiencies. Now, painless delivery. Painless normal delivery is possible through methods like epidural analgesia, psychological support during delivery. It involves providing encouragement, reassurance, and emotional support to the woman in labor, helping her feel in control and accepted, and fostering a positive birthing experience. Next, increased number of intensive care units. It can help to reduce the infant mortality rate. And the last one is raising caesarean birth or increased caesarean birth rates. The increased use of fetal monitoring and ultrasound and prenatal monitoring and prenatal evaluation of fetal condition has increased the rate of caesarean birth. Vital statistics related to maternal health in India. Vital statistics is maintained to collect, process, analysis, and transmit the information required for organizing and operating health services and for research and training. Use of vital statistics. It's provide information regarding health status of the member of a community and a nation. It's helpful in the assessment of health related need and problems. These are helpful in providing need-based health services to people. These are helpful in comparing the health status of one community to another. These data promotes optimum distribution and utilization of available resources. These data are helpful in the evolution of various health schemes and national health programs. On the basis of the evolutionary planning and re-implementation of these schemes and programs are done as per need. These data assist the health administrators in determining priorities among various health services to be provided to the people. These vital statistics data are helpful in comparing the present health status of any area with that of past health status. Vital statistics data are helpful in health-related research works. So now we will discuss about MMR, maternal mortality rate. So the definition of MMR is total number of deaths of women during pregnancy, delivery or postpartum period in a year due to pregnancy or delivery associated problems over 1000 live births in the same year. Now the formula of MMR is total number of deaths of women during pregnancy, delivery or postpartum period in a year due to pregnancy or delivery associated problems upon total number of live births in the same year in 2000. And another formula of MMR is total number of deaths of women during pregnancy, delivery, postpartum period in a year due to pregnancy, delivery associated problems upon total number of pregnant women in a year in 2000. IMR, infant mortality rate. Definition: total number of deaths of infant in a year per 1000 live births in the same year. Now formula: total number of death of infant in a year upon total number of live birth in a same year in 2000. Now NMR, neonatal mortality rate. Total number of infant under 28 days of age per 1000 live birth in the same year. Now formula: total number of death under 28 days of age in a year upon total number of live birth in the same year in 2000. Now the last one is PMR, perinatal mortality rate. Definition: total number of fetal deaths from the 28 week of pregnancy to within 1 week after birth in a year over per 1000 live and stillbirth in the same year. Formula: total number of fetal deaths during third trimester of pregnancy plus total number of neonatal deaths within 1 week of birth upon total number of live plus stillbirth in the same year in 2000. So now our class is done, and if you have any doubts then comment below and I will clear your doubt. And if you want I explain this PPT in Hindi or bilingual, then comment below and next video will be in Hindi or bilingual. Wait. If you like this video then don't forget to subscribe.